None of it appears calm and normal. It went from 0 to 100 immediately. Immediately. There was no.
It was if they were going in for a hug and she just went. Oh my god, I've never seen this before. So who is that? Beyonce's sister? Oh, okay.
Was she jealous?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why the fuck do you get Jay-Z and not me?
So what happened with the? Show me the video with
Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. It was at a fashion event. You have to put the fight because they have a lot of
beef?
They have a lot of history, but you have to put fashion event for it. Yeah.
That's
Fashion Week, yeah. I think Cardi's the one in the red dress.
All these people with phones, this is the best they could get out of it. Some guy's phone from 2008? What the fuck is going on?
I remember it was because Nicki said something about her daughter, saying that you're never going to be a good mother or something. Like something real fucking shady. Like something real bad.
Isn't Nicki Minaj a mother as well?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah. Does anyone know the dad?
No.
Didn't they say it was Eminem at one point?
No way it's Eminem.
Or no, there was that rumor, right? It was Nicki Minaj and the guy from Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire? Yeah. Where are you reading this?
Can you look up Tobey Maguire and Nicki Minaj? I think, yeah, there was like all over Twitter or something.
If it's going to be one of the Spider-Mans, it's either going to be Tom Holland or what's his name?
Wait, no, is Tom
Andrew
Holland
Garfield.
the most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, then Tom Holland, sorry.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland
that makes
and
a
Nicki
bit
Minaj.
more sense.
Yeah. I like the idea of Andrew Garfield.
I've seen Tobey Maguire. No way.
I loved your Spider-Man in 2002.
Baby.
Yeah, this was a rumor though. Like it was like all over Twitter.
Tom Holland's opening Twitter finding out he's Nicki Minaj's baby daddy.
I like that. That would be a good universe. I want to live in that world.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever. Oh my god, look at the third image on the right. Wait, yeah. Look at them as a family.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't ever see it. I feel like Tom Holland. Do you think Tom Holland and Zendaya are gonna last?
Are they dating again? I thought they broke up, didn't they?
I don't think they broke up.
I thought they broke up.
No,
yeah.
I don't think they broke up.
Versus. Who's more famous, Tom Holland or Zendaya?
Zendaya.
No, you're
Yeah.
out of your mind.
I know for a fact Zendaya is more popular.
How would you, okay, how are you measuring the popularity?
Like screen time, net worth, that kind of stuff. Who's more popular? Tom. Yeah, I knew it. She was a...
That's a TV show.
Euphoria, not just that. She was in so many movies and TV shows in Disney growing up.
Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
So?
Do you know how much of like that's a poll?
Who's more popular, Tom Holland or Zendaya?
You're just using Google to verify whatever Google thinks. How do you equate that? Like by value?
She has twice the amount of followers than Tom Holland.
Yeah, but she's also a woman.
So?
Women always have more followers than dudes. Yeah. You look at me like I'm spewing like nonsense. Just look up both their net worth, I guess.
Yeah. No, hers is definitely higher. For sure.
What has she done? She's only done like a TV show.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. Look up quickly. 0.47 versus 0.52.
Yeah, but that's 60 million.
Yeah.
And his is 100 Oh, and 46 million. I thought it was 146,000.
I mean,
read it right.
listen, he's currently the Spider-Man. He's done 3 movies and he's doing more.
Is he gonna do more?
3 more movies with Marvel.
3 more?
3.
So he's gonna be.
Oh, that's exciting. Did you watch the new Black
one?
Panther movie?
No, I don't watch that stuff.
Why? You'll watch Spider-Man, but you won't watch Black Panther?
Yeah.
Why?
Same reason why I wouldn't watch the Hulk.
Why wouldn't you watch the Hulk?
Sorry, She-Hulk.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that.
Yeah. I think it peaked at Endgame,
What?
the Marvel whole thing.
Yeah, I can kind of agree at that. Like, I think Marvel was doing great with all their movies, whether it was Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. They were doing so amazing until Endgame. And I think the only one that is relevant right now is Spider-Man. I feel like those are the only ones that are going to get a similar kind of box office to the Marvel movies.
Wasn't there recently, like, there was Mobius, right?
Never heard of it.
Morbius.
Oh,
It's by
is that a Marvel movie?
No, it's by Sony, I
It
think.
is by Sony, but it's owned. It's actually like owned by Marvel. They made the character, but it's a copyright was sold to Sony.
I know there was a big thing about Sony and Marvel with Spider-Man.
Mobius was so bad that people made memes about how good it was, but it was terrible. And so
I never went to watch it, so I saw it in cinema.
it convinced Sony to do a re-release of the movie. And
They're doing a whole new movie?
No. So what happened was this, right? So it was really, really terrible. And then people just made memes about how it's like the greatest movie in the world. And that convinced the people that, oh, it must be good. So Sony was like, all right, well, we'll do a second release. So what they did was like they aired it whatever date in the cinema. And after like, I think 2 or 3 weeks, it was totally dead. And then this whole kerfuffle happened. And then Sony was like, okay, we'll re-release it in the cinemas again.
Wait, what's a kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle means like a fight, like a scene.
Never heard that word before in my life. That's a really cool word.
Can you look up kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle, is that a word?
Yeah.
Like Oxford Dictionary word?
Yeah.
Kerfuffle. Exactly. It sounds like those little things that you get in Club Penguin. Kerfuffle. No, kerfuffle. I think.
Go, hey Siri. Just say, hey Siri, kerfuffle.
Hey Siri. Yeah, Siri is a word.
Wait, how do you...
Hey Siri, what does kerfuffle mean? One moment. Has to think about that word.
How do you spell it?
Still working.
How do you spell it?
I have no idea how to spell that word.
Is it do you say with a K or with a G?
I think you say it with a G.
Kerfuffle.
Or with a C.
Kerfuffle.
What does kerfuffle mean?
Kerf...
It's with a K.
Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. A common or fuss, especially one caused by conflicting views.
Kerfuffle.
It's a British word, origin 19th century, from the Scots kerfuffle.
That's even better.
Probably from the Scottish Gaelic twist and bend.
Gaelic, oh.
There you go. Found it for you.
Oh. That's very good. I've never heard of that before. What were we talking about? I don't remember now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other like weird words like that you just don't use in common parlance.
The goblin word.
Goblin is definitely a word that's used a
I
lot.
saw that. That was Oxford Word of the Year.
Yeah.
But I think I
never
saw
used-
it on GDN, and I commented. I said that is the perfect way to describe society for 2022.
Just a bunch of goblins.
No, but did you hear the definition of it?
Yeah, the people just don't want to get out of bed.
No, that's not what it was. Goblin mode. Projecting societal expectations and living in an unkempt, hedonistic manner without regard to self-image.
Where did this word come from, though? I feel like this is something this was not in ancient Greece. People did not say goblin mode 2,000 years ago.
But if there was a way to
Origin.
describe 2022, this would be how I would describe it for society itself.
Nah, there are people who are just...
Especially Americans.
Listen. There's people who are just like sitting at home and doing bullshit, and then there's people actually doing things. Illustrated from the 19th century. It's a hedonistic manner without regard of self-image. Blah,
Julia
blah, blah.
Fox, Kanye West, they used it.
But it doesn't say where the origin of it. Oh wait, what?
It's supposed to be a Reddit
It says
term.
a huge spike in search in Goblin mode, leading blah blah blah. Use the term. The term is also linked to a viral Reddit post in which the user admits in acting like a goblin when alone at home. I just like that picture. That's a great tattoo. I feel like that's a great tattoo.
Wait, it said that it was something for TikTok and cottagecore. You know what cottagecore is, right?
No, I don't follow these things.
Cottagecore is a type of aesthetic where it's very like small mushrooms, frogs, like white clothing, like fairies, that like in, like a little house, little bungalow in like a forest. That's cottagecore.
For me, it's heroin chic. You heard of the song. I like it. I like the whole lifestyle of it.
Oh, that's quite good. But I can't believe you've never seen Money Heist, though. Have you heard of Money Heist?
Yes, I watched it.
You watched it. It's good, right?
Yeah, it gets to a point where it's like, I mean,
That answers that question. It's good, right?
It's my favorite show. I watched it for the 4th time, and I just finished it yesterday or the day before.
like, the last season, part 2, like, I just couldn't watch it.
No?
I was done with it.
With like Tokyo?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys talking about, Tokyo? What are you on about?
So Money Heist it's set in Spain, where these bunch of people are planning on stealing 4.2 billion euros from the Royal Mint of Spain. And they have these group of people, and they all give them city names. So there's Tokyo, Berlin, Denver, Moscow, Oslo, Helsinki, Nairobi, and there's another one, Bogota, Manila, all these people. And then the main person is the professor. And he's like the brains behind everything. And he's been planning the heist for about 20 years. And it was his father's idea. And it just goes in, and it not only shows like the heist and everything that can go right and everything that can go wrong, but it shows all the smart clicks in his head. And then he starts falling in love with the inspector of the heist, the negotiator. And I don't know, I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favorite shows. My parents hated it though.
What's currently trending like crazy at the moment is Wednesday.
I love Wednesday.
Fuck right off.
Why?
It's so terrible.
It's not terrible. It's so good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Just because it's made by Tim Burton doesn't mean I have to like fucking love it.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Tim Burton stuff, but I will admit Wednesday was a good show. I enjoyed it.
It looks so terrible.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
I can't.
Then you can't say it's terrible.
No, I saw the trailer and I looked at it and I was like,
but a trailer
oh my
does not
God.
define the film.
Yeah, but that's what sells it to the audience, right? What kind of world do you live in where you're like, hey, you know what? Don't worry about the trailer. Go to the cinema. Spend money. Watch everything that's in release.
Sometimes I do that. If I've heard so much hype about something and I watch the trailer and I think, oh my God, that's a piece of shit. But everyone's like, oh yeah, it's so amazing. Let's go. I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it.
No, I don't listen to people when it comes to like film reviews and stuff like that in general.
No?
Because I feel like it influences your perspective.
So you're not going to go and watch Money Heist now?
You know, I feel like if somebody hypes up a film, that then fucks that film. Because you're going to go with that expectation. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? And
Yeah.
and so I try, like, when somebody says to me, like, that film is really good, I try to just to forget about it and then, like, wait 6 months. And then when it pops up again, then I'm like, oh, okay, so this must mean something. If 2 or 3 or 4 people then talk to me about it, then I'll be like,
okay.
okay, I'll give it a chance.
No, but you should give Wednesday a chance. I really enjoyed it. There were a few things that were really, like, childish. It is for a child's perspective, for sure.
It's written for teenagers.
Yeah, like preteens, like 12, 13-year-olds mainly.
I don't know. I didn't like the portrayal of Gomez from the trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I think he fits the character pretty well.
No,
but
I don't-
Morticia, she's great in it.
Like I don't want every TV show I think in this last decade, every single male character except I think one is a bumbling idiot. right? And so I'm not like interested
Okay, yeah, maybe.
in that narrative. And when I saw it and he was just like some fat idiot, and I was like, oh, fuck me. Like, can't you just have a semblance?
No, but they do go into the backstory of him. Should I talk about it? Or do you want,
You
are you
can
gonna?
talk
I don't
about
want
it.
to spoil it.
Fine,
For you.
tell me about it.
So they go into the backstory of him and how he possibly murdered another person. So it does go really into him and Morticia. So it's not only focused on Wednesday. I think the one that they really leave behind is the brother. What's the brother's name?
Oh, the bald guy. I forgot his name.
No, he's not bald.
Yeah, the brothers from. Oh, you're talking about Pugsley.
Pugsley, yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't really, they show
Wednesday's
him.
brother.
Yeah, Wednesday's brother. So
Not Matias. Not Gomez.
No,
Gomez has also a brother.
yeah, I forgot his name as well, but they get into that as well. So it's
Uncle
private.
Fester.
Yes, they get into that as well.
I think it looks like a piece of crap.
No, it's good. It's more of like a murder mystery.
No, it is not. It's
No,
a high
but
school drama.
But it's a detective kind of
You
feeling
remember
to
that
it.
trailer when they're like, "Ooh, this is like the school of all the misfits go here."
Yeah.
And then there's
Okay,
like,
yeah, it's
this is
really
like
corny.
the
Yeah.
wolf kids. Ow! And I was like, oh.
And then there's the sirens and no, but it is good. I think it's something just to binge watch throughout if you have nothing planned for your day. Binge watch Wednesday. It's a good. Have you seen The Inside Man?
No.
That's a good series.
Well,
It's
let's
only
finish,
4 episodes.
finish on Wednesday before we move
I
on
was
to the
just
next
thinking
one.
about miniseries. That's why. No, but Wednesday is good.
You watched it, right?
Yeah.
Does the Addams Family feel like a show or concept that would have fighting?
No.
That's one of my conflicting problems with Wednesday. The fun thing about like the Addams Family is the Addams Family.
What do you mean?
Like their interactions of the Addams Family within like normal suburban families, right? That's the counter of it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, these
how
are like
different they are.
right.
Yeah.
These are this family is like occultish and ooh, and it's like a play on like
Thank you.
aristocrats and stuff like that. I feel like Wednesday is just like, I don't want to go to school and I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want
Thanks.
to ever be married and have family.
She falls in love though. She doesn't fall in love, but she does kind of get with a guy who you later find out was the shithead of the whole thing. It is very
Wait, what? The female lead interest turns out to be the villain? Who would have thought?
yes, it is very, very corny.
You know what I think happened? I think that they went to Tim Burton and went, hey, we have this concept, right? And we're going to pay you a lot of money, and we just want to have your name on it. And Tim Burton was like, okay. And he just signed the papers to have his name on it, and that's it. I don't think he had any... You've seen some of his like projects.
Yeah, they're
right?
amazing.
This is not a Tim
Yeah,
Burton
it's-
like film or anything.
They could say that they should have said that it's inspired by the Tim Burton character, not that it's a Tim Burton original.
It's Tim Burton. I can't imagine that he did more than maybe sit in a few meetings and sign some papers. He was not directing it. He was not like going, this concept looks good. Why is Tim Burton?
But they add the original Wednesday in it. Do you
What does
remember?
that mean? From this TV show of the 60s?
Yeah.
Wasn't she like the school mistress or something?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so she's included, which I think was a nice touch.
That was
other
just to
than-
please the fan base and being like, oh, we put like the old actress in it. How?
I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, I've really enjoyed the show. It's something that you can just binge watch over a day. But it's not something that I'd be looking forward to be like, oh my God, I wish there was a season 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that I would enjoy to watch if there was something else I would have to do during the day.
My problem from beginning to end of that series is that it feels like it feels like Ghostbusters. You know, the female one.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I was getting from the trailer. I was getting that this is like a corny piece of shit, and they took an existing IP that had a little bit of life in it. Just they looked for IPs that had a bit of a pulse left, and then they were
they're
like,
yes.
How can we turn this into a shit fest and get people and pay them and get bots? Because I've read the reviews, and none of those reviews are human beings.
Yeah.
Like the things that they say are like, I really enjoyed the old Addams Family movie.
Like NPCs.
But
right?
not, this
is
one
that the term
did justice.
NPC? Is that the term NPC? Yeah. Like those.
But NPCs are real people who just like don't have an opinion. They just like regurgitate things they hear.
Yeah, I saw that it was recently a huge trend on TikTok to act as if you're an NPC in the comments, and it was fucking hilarious. Like you'd see like a mom talking about something, and you'd be like, "Oh my god, girl power," or something that's really like something that NPC would say. That was quite funny. But in terms of the Addams Family, I think watch it. If you have nothing to do during your day, watch it and then give your opinion on it. It is very teenagery. It is very, very corny and childish. But it's fun just to get into. You know, there's not many episodes. I don't think there's more than 8. I think there's only 8 episodes.
If you want to have a hole in your head, go and watch Wednesday, because I think that's the same amount of people that want that.
Really?
I mean, I've watched. I mean, listen, from the trailer and from the people and from the actors that I saw who played like Uncle Fester and stuff like that, I felt it was the most corniest piece of crap, and it just like it riled something in me, because I'm so tired of seeing like good IPs from at least our childhood just being like pissed all over. And I have the same like intense emotions about Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I guess.
Where they're like how much do you have to hate the fan base to turn the icon, the ghost itself, right? Like with the cross through it, and then be like, that's gonna be our villain. How much you have to hate the fan base?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so tired of it. I'm just so exhausted by that.
But don't forget, more of the people that are watching it have never seen the Addams Family before, or if they have, they've only heard the theme song. You know what I mean? And that's really common.
No, this show was directly aimed for people who still remember the movies that came out in the 90s. That was the last live action film, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
Because there were 2.
Live action, yeah.
There were only 2 live action, and then there were a few cartoons afterwards. But I think that's what it was aimed for.
I think it was aimed towards around 12 to 25 generation. Like,
But
around
what
those
12-year-old is like?
a lot of kids are watching it because they don't see Wednesday as part of the Addams Family. They see Wednesday now as her own character in her own series, not the Addams Family. Do you get what I mean?
But you could use any IP for doing that, right? You don't have to use an existing IP. You could make a totally new character and then do that.
But because of how famous she is from all the previous stuff.
I don't know if that's like...
You don't think she's that famous?
No, I don't think like the Wednesday... I mean, I remember...
And Jenna Ortega, she's extremely famous.
I mean, you're right. Pugsley was always like the butt of every joke. And Wednesday always played the straight man.
Yes.
Right? And I think that in the movies of the Addams Family, it was more always centered around Gomez.
See, I never watched the previous Addams Families.
You're missing out. Those 2 are great films.
No, see, I probably watched them when I was younger. But not that I can remember now that I watched. If you were to put the theme song on right now, and I've never watched Wednesday, I would still be able to tell you. I'd still be able to tell you that it's the Addams Family.
They're kooky and they're vicious. There's no...
No, it's not Wednesday.
Did they use
It's
the
the
same one
Addams
from
Family.
Wednesday, or did they change it?
No, they changed it, I think. Yeah.
This is the one?
No.
Just type in Addams Family
But they don't
intro.
they don't use that sound once.
They don't use it once?
No.
That's even worse.
The only partake they have in it is at one point.
What a weird ad. That was such a weird ad.
I wasn't watching it.
The ad was really weird. Is the audio off? I think it is, yeah.
Now, I was really disappointed because what got me to watch it is I saw it originally on Netflix. You know, when you go on to new and popular what's coming up. And I saw that Wednesday was coming up. I was looking forward to it. But then I didn't watch it as soon as it got released. I started watching all the TikTok edits on it. And there's one particular scene where Wednesday has to go into like a secret lair. And the code is written down and it says snap twice. And she goes, that's the only thing in the entire film. But what annoyed me even more is that they didn't use the music in the background. See, I was rewatching these TikToks and they put the music in the background. So I thought, oh, okay, they're going to put it in the movie. I thought they just took it directly at the movie. No, they edited that song right on top of it. They didn't even put it in the movie and that, series. And that really bothered me.
I think my inherent issues with all things modern at the moment is that I feel like a lot of it is just spoon feeding you dogma, right? And that's the thing that upsets me so much. I remember like watching recently Singing in the Rain, a movie that came out in the 1950s, I believe. And I remember watching it in the cinema. I remember watching the cinema recently, like a year ago. And I just felt like this wave of just tension release. 1952, I wasn't too far off, yeah. I just felt this like incredible wave of just like of somebody not having to feed me like, oh, this is bad, this is good. It was just like
your own opinion.
It was just like here's a story.
Yeah.
There was no like larger conspiracy or dogma involved with it.
Yeah. I guess that's a really good perspective to put on it, is if someone's going to tell you like, oh my God, this is so amazing, and overhype it. You go to the movies or you sit on your couch and put on Netflix with this expectation like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. And halfway through, you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Well, let me ask you this question. I remember just seeing this, and it was from Family Guy made this point, and it really blew my mind away. Can you name a single character in a single movie where they go more to the right politically?
What do you mean more to the right?
So every film that I can think of all go more liberal. Like the character as it's progressing goes more and more like politically liberal than right.
I'll tell you one thing. And you're going to kick me out. I don't know the difference between liberal and conservative, and I don't know the parties. I don't know anything about them.
Big state control, that kind of stuff.
Don't know it. I don't know the difference. I always see stories about people being conservative or liberal, and there's another one, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know the difference. I don't know what liberal means. I don't know what conservative means. I don't know what it means. I don't know what any of them mean.
Okay.
How would you describe liberal to conservative? What's the difference? It's something to do with America, right?
No, it has to do with every like political system in the world.
Okay. I thought it was only America.
No.
So what's the difference?
At the most extremes,
yeah,
they're the same.
Okay.
If you look at the liberal to the most extreme, becomes like USSR, Russia, Soviet, in the same of communism is the most extreme form of liberalism. Right, the most extreme factor of that is fascism.
Okay.
Which both enact almost the same amount of policies, both enact the same amount of like draconian laws, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The bigger difference between the two, when you're talking about more centralist perspective, is that the right tends to favor individual identity over group, while the left, the Democrats as they now like to call themselves, they like the idea of group over individual. Right. So the right argument is, if you want to make more money, go and work, achieve it yourself. The left argument is, oh, you know what? You have inherent biases on the society, and that's why you're not able to achieve your full potential.
Okay.
So that's it. To put it as simply as possible, those are the two viewpoints.
So to go back on your question, no, everyone is more to the left.
Well, because it's made in Hollywood.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The last movie that somebody became more to the right, as in giving like like instead of being like, oh, let the big state decide, was a movie that came out in the turn of the century, in the early 1900s, called... Oh, it's on top of my mind. I'll come to it later. But yeah, so I don't know. Do you not feel that way? Do you not like feel like movies try to influence your opinion on things?
Yeah, of course they do. That's the world. That's the world we live in. But I don't give a shit. Like, if they're gonna try and influence me, let them try and influence me. At the end of the day, it's what I think.
Have you ever seen a movie from the 1950s?
If you name some popular ones, maybe I could tell you. Most of the time, I don't. I've seen Casablanca, yeah.
The original one, yeah?
I think so.
It's in black and white.
Then no. No.
Citizen Kane?
No.
Okay. M?
No.
I'm trying to think what other movies that come into my head. U-Boat?
No, never seen those.
Give it a chance. You'll watch them and then you're like, oh my God. It's just a story.
I think I got this poster, I remember, that said top 100 films. And you got to scratch it off and see which one you wanted to watch. And I tried to do my best, but some of the films were in black and white and some of them were from like 1970s. And I guess that's just not my thing. I never got into those kind of films. I didn't really enjoy them. I was sitting there like this and I'm like, why am I watching this?
What was the last movie you watched and you were like, why am I watching this?
I can't remember the name of it, but they were dancing. And my friend made me watch it. And they were like...
Grease?
No, it wasn't Grease.
Grease is a good movie.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Grease. Grease is a good movie. No, it was an older film. And they were like a summer camp. And they were like...
Addams Family.
No.
That's also in a summer camp.
No, not that. I can't remember now. I can't remember the name of it. But I remember I was sitting there and watching it and thinking, what the fuck am I watching? It's a really popular film, like extremely popular. I think it has the word dancing in it.
Dancing Queen?
No. Top 100 films. I know I can find it.
Top 100 films? You're going to scroll down the whole list? Get out of here. What are you doing?
It wasn't Pulp Fiction. Oh, Singing in the Rain, that's in top 100.
Yeah, it's a good film. It is a really, really good film. If you're out there and you're thinking of what should I watch tonight, go watch Singing in the Rain. Or even better, go talk to your local cinema and see if they can bring in the film reel and sell some tickets.
I know for a fact. Oh, this is so annoying because I know you know it. I don't think it's Casablanca. Do they dance in Casablanca? Dirty Dancing.
Ugh.
That's the name of it.
It's not a great film.
I didn't like that film. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's such an amazing film. It's such a classic. It's all this. And I was like, okay.
Godfather's a better film than that.
I've never seen it.
You're going to have people in the comment section yelling at you.
Oh, let them yell at me. I don't care. Godfather, I don't know anything about it.
You should watch it. It's a really good film.
What's it about? A Godfather?
It's a story about a kid who comes out from the military. His family operates in the mob, and his older brother gets murdered, and he then takes. It has
Robert De Niro.
It has Al Pacino in it and Marlon Brando. But yeah, so the story goes that he then finds himself slowly more and more getting involved with the family business, and then eventually he takes it over, and it's like this descent into darkness. It's a fantastic. Is
it on Netflix?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm sure
It's too good to be on Netflix.
Else. Yeah, I guess so. Another
Umbrella Academy is a good TV show.
Umbrella Academy is amazing. I love Umbrella Academy, and there's a new season coming out.
Who's your favorite character in Umbrella Academy?
Oh my God, what's his name? What's his name?
Can you describe him?
Hi, goodbye.
Klaus.
Klaus. I love Klaus. Klaus is my favorite.
Really?
I feel like I see a little bit of me in Klaus. I don't know. I love him. He has this energy of just like, he could have the word "I don't give a fuck" written across his head. That's how I would describe him. Like, he's hilarious. He's just very into his own like spiritual self, and I love Klaus. He's my favorite.
My favorite by far is number 5.
The short guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's really good
You know why I love him so much?
because he's an old man in a kid's body.
Because you have to remember that actor is 14 years old when he's playing it.
Oh, is he?
Never did I like watch it and been like, that's a 14-year-old playing an old man.
Oh, that's actually a really good point. I didn't think of it like that.
Right? I mean, there was never a moment in my head where it was like, oh, this is bullshit. There's no way like an old and better dude would act like that. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Aidan Gallagher.
Here, how old was Alan Gregor when he first played 5? Second question, right there.
12 or 13. Even younger. That's pretty brilliant.
I mean, I remember like the first scene when he gets introduced.
Is this where you first saw him from?
Yes.
I saw him from Ricky Dicky something and Dawn. Ricky Dicky and Dawn. This is where I first saw him on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon.
He must have been 10 or 9 at that point, no?
Yeah, much, much younger. Probably even 8. Yeah, this is where I first saw him.
I mean, honestly, he's a really, really impressive actor.
Who's your least favorite from the Umbrella Academy?
Which is the one that can control things by Simon Says or whatever it is? Huh?
Oh,
Alison.
Allison. You don't like her?
I don't like her. I don't like 2 characters. One is Allison because I don't like Allison because the way she's written. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Like, remember the season 2, she joins this like black community,
Yes.
and then it's like she like kind of like forgets her family to join this black community. And I was like, you gave up the family that you were there with them since you were a baby. How is like race more important than your family?
Yeah, I guess so. You know who I really don't like? Vanya/Victor.
Yeah, I don't like Vanya or Victor either.
No, see, I don't like them. I mean, great to them that they added the transition for him. I mean, that's great.
They should have just killed off the character. I hate that they spoon fit it to the audience where he goes like to the older brother. It's like, are you okay with me calling you Victor?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I didn't like that at all.
But I do think if they were going to make such a huge transition, you know, obviously from the character originally being a female to making it a male, make it a bit more of a big deal than as soon as you start the series, bam, he's a guy. At least lead into it. For the first 1 or 2 episodes, he's a girl. And then I think actually maybe that is what they did. I don't remember. But I didn't like how they transitioned it into the show. I mean, yeah, it's great that he transitioned. But if you're going to start off a series as a female and that was going to be the plan, continue as a female, as an actor. You know what I mean? That's how I would say it.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think the Umbrella Academy used that, Netflix used that for all that it's worth. They're like, oh, fuck yeah. We got a character that is trans. Yeah. Woo! We'll put that in our show. That gives us all the fucking support in the world.
That's another thing that I was thinking about. I said that they're at this point in this generation, in this lifetime, 2022, if you do not have a gay, a black, or transgender or that in your show, you will be shitted on, because now people see it as like a must, like, oh, you're not including this community and everything, and I'm like, okay, yeah, if it fits into the genre of the show and all that, but if it doesn't, it doesn't matter.
I think what we're going to see here is that I think a lot of companies are going to wake up to the fact that a lot of these people, these woke activists and stuff like that, were just bots. They were just, and they were not real people. They were never existing customers, and bad decisions were made internally in order to pacify a group that never existed to begin with. And that's why you have adages right now coming about, like the word of the dictionary term of the year should have been go woke, go broke. Should not have been fucking goblin mode, because that's what we're finding here. And even it's gotten so bad that Disney had to fire its CEO in order to rehire Bob Iger.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's their whole escapade of changing the dynamic has almost destroyed the Marvel empire. No one gives a shit about She-Hulk. Some people care about Loki, but not really.
I used to give a shit. Like the first, like when there was like hypes about it. See, I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot. So if I'm going to hear about a show, I'm going to hear it on TikTok. So I first heard about it there. And I always loved Loki in the Thor movies. So when I heard that they were going to do this spin-off of him, I thought it was going to be great. But once I got into the first or second episode, I thought, this is shit.
Well, they didn't trust it enough to make it a movie, right?
Yeah.
That's where you have to like come back to it. If they believed in the IP, they would have made it into a film. But if they don't believe in the IP, they're like, well, let's just release it on like a TV
See, that's
show.
another thing. Would you argue that if something's not good enough, they would turn it into a series? Because don't series take more time and more effort?
It's a lot cheaper to make a series than it is to make a film.
Is it?
A lot cheaper.
Okay, so maybe that's why. Because Loki is a very, very popular character. So I do understand why they made a series and not a movie, because he's not a main character in the Marvel series. So I do understand that. But because he was so popular and people adored him, I thought that they would have turned him into a movie.
Okay,
not
Scarlet
series.
Witch. She's a main character in the MCU. She's a part of the Avenger gang, for Christ's sake. Yet
She's extremely popular.
Yeah, they didn't believe that she had enough clout to turn into a movie, but they did.
should.
They thought that Black Widow or whatever the character was called had enough clout with Scarlett Johansson to make a film. They decided to make that into a film and not into a TV show.
Because Scarlett Johansson, her name itself has got a huge reputation.
But that I mean, it's hard to. It's a little unfair because that film came out during COVID, so it didn't get a cinema release. It was just released online.
Oh, okay.
But even online wise, it didn't do great.
Yeah, I didn't watch Black Widow until a couple months ago. I didn't watch it during COVID.
It's not great. I mean, none of the films that have come out from that epoch after Endgame has been amazing. The only thing that was second tier, B tier to me that came out was Doctor Strange and the
Doctor
universe
Strange was
of multiverse of madness.
That was good. I love that.
I felt like if you say from 1 to 10, 10 being the best film ever, I think it was a solid 6. I think a lot of the things and
I'd
themes,
say 7.
a lot of the things and themes that they introduced into it was like. Ugh.
See, the first Doctor Strange was amazing. I'd rate that around like an 8.2. I really loved the original Doctor Strange film. But the second, they had so much potential that they could have added to it that they just didn't include. I feel like they were just like, oh, we need another sequel. Just go do it. Like, they didn't put that much time, effort, and thought into it.
They brought in Sam Raimi, and you can tell it's Sam Raimi based on the transitions and some of the horrorness from it, right? Because he's very famous from his not The Mouth of Madness. He did what was the horror film Sam Raimi did? It was Evil Dead. So he brought some of that elements of Evil Dead into it. 100% Evil Dead. Army of Darkness and Evil Dead. There you go.
I've never heard of Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's very, very famous. Anyway, so he brought some of the transitions on those elements from Evil Dead into it. But you can definitely tell that the producers kept their thumb on his head and made sure that the beats, the story had to be like this. And the way they also made that film, they ensured that they could cut out the LGBT moment.
That's what really bothered me in Bahrain.
They made that very like clever. They
bothered
made
the
that
shit
very
out of me.
clever in that sequence. Like, if you remove it, it doesn't change anything in the movie.
Yeah. It doesn't.
It's just like a little like annotation that they put into it. So they
Mm-hmm.
were very, very tactical because they're like, we need to squeeze this for as much as it's worth. So in order to get it in China, in order to get into the to the Middle East, we can cut that like 2 minute or 1
But they
minute.
didn't even cut it. They removed the whole movie in Bahrain.
Not even Bahrain was like, that also involves witchcraft.
Same with Thor. They removed Thor entirely off of cinemas because there was a mini LGBTQ moment, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous.
No, I'm all for it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think cut off the whole movie. I think just cut the section.
No, I think that it's up to any governing state to choose what they allow and what they don't. No one complains about what China allows, and they only allow like 10 films a year. But you don't hear people like screaming like out, being like, "Oh, my film didn't get into China."
Yeah.
They're like, "Your word just not on the docket."
So you know, on Netflix, you know how different movies get into different countries. Like you can't watch certain things. Like you could only recently watch Harry Potter on Netflix. It was never on it before. It was in places like Turkey. There's so many graphic things on Netflix in Bahrain. How come they haven't removed that? Does Bahrain get to choose?
Of course, every state gets to choose by the cop.
Then why would they keep that kind of stuff on Netflix, but remove like a whole movie with a small part of it? That's what I don't understand.
I think it's a very tactical decision, and I think from a sense they're saying you by just banning it outright, you don't have people in the background then saying, "Oh, I want to see the full movie. What happened in those 1 minute?" You know what I mean? So it's better to just completely close off that wound.
That's a good idea. I didn't think of it like that.
And if people really want to go and watch it, there's ways around it, and they can go and watch it, right? So I think that's the general concept of that idea. And I think it's also in order to show, hey, you know what? These are our beliefs. Mm-hmm. This is this is our culture, and if that's not something you accept, that's fine. I mean, look, think about from the early 2000s until the late 2010s, every villain was Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And we just took it. We're like, it is what it is. It was what it was, right? And there was never an outcry.
No.
Right?
Yeah, they just based it straight off stereotypes.
Exactly. But now that suddenly they're upset that we're like, hey, you know what? We don't really think that the LGBT movement is something that's progressive or good for our country. Everyone's upset suddenly.
Yeah, I guess so.
You don't think what I'm saying speaks any kind of sense or candor?
No, it
Candidness
does.
to it?
Yeah, for sure. But the only thing that I'm thinking about is I don't understand if you are going to remove an entire movie, which what you said did make sense, that why remove a short clip and then people are going to argue what happened then, what was in that short clip that we didn't see, and then they just remove the entire movie. I totally get that, for sure. But why keep something that small and remove it when there's 10 more times the amount of graphic things on Netflix, and why keep those? That's the only thing I don't understand.
Because there's a big difference between dogma and violence.
No, not just violence.
I thought you meant like John Wick, for example.
No, I mean like the amount of gay scenes and all that kind of stuff that you can view on Netflix in Bahrain.
Yes.
Why would you be able to view
that's
it?
an interesting point. But here, let me put an asterisk to this. Thor is aimed not at us, not for people in their 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. It's aimed at who?
Kids.
Exactly. And so they don't want to have that kind of imagery or content for children.
And then Netflix, you can't actually sit and control what your kids watch. So
of course you can. You can put an age limiter.
No,
on the
what I
account.
mean is the government cannot sit and watch you from the screen and be like, who's watching that film? So they can't remove it.
What? No, we're miscommunicating here. I'm saying that the intent of that aim of that film is for teens and children, right? And so they don't want that kind of huge IP, what would get millions of people into the box office.
Oh, okay.
To be watched and influence these young kids.
Okay, now I'm understanding.
Right?
I got confused.
I think if let's forget this the LGBT thing. I think if you had Thor injecting heroin, I think that would have probably also gotten removed, either on
Yeah.
the cutting board or state-wise. They said like, hey, listen, this is a character that's aimed for kids, and this is a children's movie. You can't have a character injecting heroin into
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So I think there's that asterisk, right? Not all movies are equal in distribution. And I think that if you make a very small film that is a very artistic LGBT movement film that is aimed for a very particular audience, I think you could get that very easily through into the GCC, because it's not like fireworks being like, hey, look at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Right? Plus, let's not forget, homosexuality is legal here in Bahrain. It's been legal since 1970.
No, it isn't.
Akashi,
What's up?
how long has homosexuality been legal here?
Let me pick it up.
It's been legal
So
since
it's a-
1970.
So you're allowed to be gay in Bahrain.
1971.
Yeah, it's been 1971 or so, yeah.
I think they're banning it now.
I don't think they're banning it again. I think they just don't want it in the media. I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't have a problem with
1976.
1976. There you go. There's even gay clubs here in Bahrain.
They're not labeled as gay clubs, though.
I mean, what do you want? People know that it is. If you
Yeah, I guess so. Like Torino's now. Back then it was not, but now it's being really known as a gay club. Like,
Heaven in London is a huge gay club, but they
Yeah.
don't yell out like
That's
gay.
true.
It feels insulting that if you're not gay,
yeah,
and they're like, you're too feminine. We don't want you in here.
yeah. Like, obviously they're not gonna ask you at the front door, like, are you straight or are you gay? You know, obviously they're not gonna do that. They're gonna base it off your appearance. You know. So, but when they told me that, I was just like, but why? If they're bringing in you this money, this revenue, if they're bringing this into your lounge, into your space, why remove that? And they said, because of our image, we don't want people thinking it's a gay bar.
But wait. Let me put an asterisk here, right? And to make it very clear to the audience also listening. Homosexuality, lesbianism is very different and separated to LGBT to me, especially LGBT plus or whatever else, right?
Yes.
To me, that movement has become less about gays and lesbians. It has become a movement about trannies, indoctrination, sexual bonanzas. What are they called? Like asexuals who want to have sex with objects or marry objects.
Yeah.
Or all kinds of stuff like that. Like that's the problems that I have with it. I don't have an issue if you're gay or lesbian in that stance. I have more of an issue if you suddenly come up to me and be like, I want to cut off my penis, or I want to turn I don't know, my vagina into a dick balls. That's where I'm like, hey, you know what? Don't talk to me about this. I ain't for it.
Yeah.
I ain't with it.
I see if someone were to come up to me and they're like, what's your opinion about this? What's your opinion on that? I just straight up tell them I don't have an opinion.
How political.
No, I just be like, I don't have an opinion. I've never interacted with a person that has had such, like, I wouldn't say extreme, but just completely different sexualities. You know, I don't have an opinion. I don't know. That's not me, so I don't know what it's like. Of course, you can watch videos, you can do your research on it, but I just don't have an opinion on it. That's me.
I mean, that's so political. It's so apolitical. Like 2,000 years ago, you were sent to your first war. By the time you were 13, you were already in your first war.
So why haven't they changed it? If you're talking about today.
No, I had this interesting discussion. I'll bring this up because it makes sense, this discussion. If let's say everyone's life expectancy, right, is 100 years. Everyone in the world, right? And everywhere in the world, minimum age is 18.
Okay.
Let's work with these two hypotheticals. If suddenly everyone, like let's say tomorrow, suddenly everyone's life expectancy is 200 years. Does that mean you increase the minimum age then to 36?
No.
It's interesting though to think about, right? Or not really?
No, it is. That is interesting.
Like so in order to make it more easy, so every 2 years is basically aging 1 year today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 6 years old today, you have like the 6-year-old mentality for 2 years. If you're 8 years old, you have the 8-year-old mentality for 2 years. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. So what would you do? Would you
I
keep
don't
it
know what
18 or would you put it to 36?
I don't know what the answer to that is.
I don't think there is a yes or no answer to that.
All I can say is one 36-year-old is not the same as two 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I had to think about that for a second. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? Oh my God.
I made myself laugh.
I think if I had to answer that question, I think I would keep it at 18. I wouldn't change it to 36.
I don't know what the answer to that is.
But if you had to answer, how would you answer it?
I'll probably keep it at 18 too. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if the whole world would see it that way.
Oh yeah, people will definitely have a disagreement on it. But I think that the law...
Like, would it be okay then for a 150-year-old to have sex with a 60-year-old? That seems
yeah.
That's almost a century of difference, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh. How...
Because that 60-year-old would be a 30, right?
Mm-hmm. How I would describe it is the reason that people have made it 18 is because that is the age you become an adult, if you know what I mean. So why change it all the way to 36?
Well,
if you're gonna have the same mentality at 18.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. If it takes you, if what I'm trying to say with this art, with this like larger picture frame, a 36-year-old in theory would have the same mentality as an 18-year-old, right? Because you're doubling. You're saying that every 1 year, every 1 year just expands into 2.
Oh, so a 36-year-old would have the mentality of an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
So that means that the 18-year-old would have a mentality of a 9-year-old.
Yes.
Oh, then I would keep it at 36.
Interesting thing to think about, right?
I would keep it.
Because
I wouldn't do it 18 if they had the mentality of a 9-year-old.
It's such an interesting thought to have.
Yeah, I would put it at 36.
Because when you're 30 and the life expectancy is 200, mm-hmm. you've just barely been over 10% of your life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're 15% of your life technically.
Yeah, it's as if you're 15.
Right? Isn't that interesting to think about from the numbers perspective?
I never thought of it like that. That's quite good. But yeah, I would change it to 36. Why would you keep it at 18?
I don't know. I feel like just because maybe, I don't know. I feel like because this is the only way to operate on these things is with your emotion. There is no logical sense to it, mm-hmm. right? I mean, traditionally, you were getting married or having sex the moment you were able to have your period.
Yes.
Right? That was how things functioned back in the day. Mm-hmm. So that would be the most logical perspective of it, but we attach emotions to it, don't we? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, how old is an 8-year-old? How old is a 10-year-old? Can a 15-year-old who shot his mom because she didn't buy him an Xbox? This was recently in the news. Is the court allowed to try him as an adult? Because the argument that they're raising is that they're not going to try him until 4 years later when he's hit 18, mm-hmm. and then try him as an adult and then hit him with the book. Mm-hmm. 25 years minimum jail.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, see.
I don't know. Like.
I would keep it at 36. I wouldn't put it at 18. Because in my head, I think that if you're going to do it, you're going to base it off of when a person becomes an adult in their mindset, in their mind frame. And around 18 is around the time that...
Yeah, but not... Like, that's such a stupid argument to make because some 15-year-olds are more mature than some 30-year-olds. And vice versa.
Yeah, but if you think about the majority, if you think about the world's population, it outnumbers.
Yeah, but the majority of the world population does not have the legal age of 18.
No, but I'm saying that if the world had to become one legal age and the life expectancy was 200, I would keep it at 36.
I don't know. I mean, there's some populations in the world where their life expectancy is 30 years. How do you work that out?
I mean, if the world's life expectancy was 200, everyone was going to die at the same time. Exactly 200 years on their birthday. I think everyone should be allowed certain things on 36. 36 years is a long
time, though. 36 years is a long time.
Yeah, but then it's...
Think about how long it took you to get your age. Took a long time.
I'm only 21.
Yeah, but do you not feel like between 0 to 21 took a long time?
No. I feel like time flew by really fast.
No, I'm 31 and I felt like I remember feeling every second.
No.
I remember being like 14, 15 and just praying and just wanting to just hit that magic number of 16.
Really?
And I remember 16 praying and hoping to reach that magic number of 18. Like I remember how time felt like it was infinite.
No. See, another thing of my condition is I have a shit memory, and it did damage a lot of things that I can remember in the past. I don't remember what it was like before I was 8 or 9 years old.
I thought you were going to say, I don't remember how it was like before I was born.
No. I don't remember what it was like before I was 8 or 9, and I have very little memories.
How much long do we have left on the recording, guys?
Half an hour.
You got half an hour?
Yeah, 15 minutes approx.
15 minutes. Okay, so we got about 15 minutes before we have to close and end.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's almost 6. What time do you have to be?
Oh, it's almost 6?
You have half an hour till it's 6.
Oh, okay. I'm in no rush whatsoever because the doors open at 6, but he's not performing until 8, so there's no rush for me whatsoever.
You have to smuggle some of that candy in. Don't forget. You have to smuggle some of that candy and food.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll nibble on it in the car with me and my friend Dahlia. How come you're not having a drink? Thursday night?
We have another filming after this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Makes something more sense.
It's like, I mean, we work...
Do you work every day?
Yeah.
Every day. How long did it take you to build this?
The building wasn't too hard. There's certain aspects of it that is difficult, like getting equipment.
They look like nice cameras, though.
Yeah, we have 2 more, and then we have 2 cinema cameras. There's only 2 cinema cameras in Bahrain. The DJI were the only ones that own them, and the one I showed you, only us and Bahrain universities.
Oh, that's quite cool. That's quite cool.
They're about 700 BD each. This is for production. That's incredibly cheap. Like proper cinema cameras.
See, that's one thing that I want to ask.
Sure.
You have this. Are you going to make profit?
As a
loss, you've spent so much.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing TV, these lights, mic, cameras, and all that. Are you gonna get profit off it?
You're misunderstanding one concept of it. I've never used this from a profit perspective.
No, I was just wondering if you were going to.
If I wanted to make profit, I wouldn't do it here in Bahrain.
No.
I could make profit on it in the span of 3 weeks if I was in the UK. Just alone owning the equipment and renting it would already make me in profit within 3 months.
Okay.
Because you can buy a camera for £5,000. You can rent it for about 5 to 10%. So you only need to rent the camera 5 to 10 times.
Okay.
You've already then in profit, right? So from that perspective, that's fine. I use this more as a lost leader because it gives me the ability to network with people that I would normally not be able to be in touch with. I brought you on because I found you interesting.
Good question.
Sure.
How did you find me interesting?
Which
TikTok was it?
The one I commented on.
I can't remember.
I can't remember it either, but you talked about something and it just clicked with me and I was like, oh, you know what? That's pretty funny. That's all it took.
Yeah, see, my TikToks vary from just like really, really random shit to sometimes I bring up personal topics around other people, See, that's what I think people enjoy is I'm very an open book on TikTok. Like, I don't really keep anything hidden on TikTok.
So what's the plan? How are you going to grow it? Where do you want to head with it?
I'm thinking of quitting.
Can you open up her TikTok? We can do the intro for the film, the interview. Because we can add this part then to the intro, and then that will be... EVA? Eva?
Just Eva Things. Just Eva Things. Yeah. There you go. That's me. So.
Give me a second. Hi. Today I'm with Eva. Hi. Today I'm with Just Eva Things. She came on here to talk about her amazing TikTok. She got to almost 13K in what, 4 months?
No, I think about over the span of a year.
So she's done some interesting videos. Some of it has hit over 100K.
500,000.
Oh, 500,000
is my largest. I don't know why my pinned videos are not here though.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So we just wanted to have her on to talk a little bit about TikTok, her experience with the app, and how it's been treating her from the perspective of the Middle East. There, that's your intro. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, so tell me about it. Why do you want to quit it?
Before, I used to post TikToks for me, myself, and I didn't care who viewed them. I didn't care. I didn't see it as a standpoint of let's get views, let's get followers, let's get engagement. I just didn't care what I posted. It was for myself. And then I started gaining quite a following, mainly just for my own things that would just pop up in my head and I would post them. But now that I kind of hit about 12.5K, I'd say about 6 months ago. And then it got up to 13,000, then 13.1, then 13.2. And in the last 3 months, it's only gone down.
You think there have been removing bots, or what do you think has been happening?
I think they're just fed up of me talking about myself. Because I normally talk about my own things that happen in my life, and I'm not just posting purely comedy videos. Sometimes I just see a sound and I'm like, oh, I can do something, and I'll post it. And that's normally how I do it. But people are now seeing it as like, oh, she's not really doing comedy anymore. It's mainly her personal stuff. None of her stuff are blowing up. She's getting less views. So that's why I think I'm getting less followers. So I'm just thinking, I think I will keep it up for myself. I might change and switch to a completely personal account and continue posting what I do, just without the pressure of having 13,000 followers on it. Because now that I have all these followers, I feel stupid that my stuff doesn't even hit into the Ks anymore. My views don't even hit 10Ks and stuff, when before I used to get up to 500,000 views.
I mean, it happens. The algorithm is in no control of anyone. I mean,
Yeah.
some of our YouTube shorts and reels have hit over 20K, and then some of it has hit 30. And I don't understand the disparity between those two.
Yeah.
And it's as long as you are on the front end and on the back end, where you don't supply, when you don't own the servers, you don't own the network, you're going to always be stuck and wondering why the algorithm treats you this or that way.
Yeah, see, before I used to post, some things were personal, but then I would also post about things in Bahrain, like I was telling you, an event that was popping up, drama that was going on, and people enjoyed that. People love drama. They live for it. So they would like that. But then I just started posting more personal things. My life died down. I became much more calm. I didn't have a lot going on with my life. So I didn't have a lot to post. So I started posting less frequently. And what I did post would just be things about the past or small things that are happening right now. So I just think because my TikTok has become so personal.
Anyways, it was a complete pleasure having you on, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
this will be
it's
for
all good.
part 2 then.
Yes.
And yeah, I think we're done.